Hello, welcome to the Ginger Geek Show. So, Doctor Series 11 has finally finished, and it seems to be very mixed overall in the Doctor fan base. It seems to be either a love or hate relationship. I'm on that hate, but I'm not particularly on the good side, if I'm honest. But that's what this video is going to be all about. For a while, I've been wanting to obviously do reviews on the series, and I've just been struggling because I'm not finding myself enjoying this series. So I thought I would do this video, which is quite a blunt one, and it's simply my top 10 dumb decisions that's happened in Doctor Series 11. So yes, let's begin, shall we? Number 10, lack of fun. Yes, I think this might be quite an obvious one, I think, for some. Even the ones that seem to generally quite like the series, even kind of feels like a lot of the time it's so downbeat. And I'm going to quickly just say right now, to me, Doctor Who is escapism, not realism. And I think at times, I agree, maybe it should have moments of I did like the Rose episode, to be fair. I think that is the best episode of the series. But when there was quite a lot of episodes and a lot of moments where it just brings it down of moments of just, yes, I get it, the world is shit, and I don't need reminded of that, and I think it's a bit of a shame. Like, I think Doctor is known for doing that, don't get me wrong, yes, but, you know, when I was younger and growing up and during the week at school, I'd get so excited of watching Doctor Who because I knew I was going to escape from this world, and sadly now I'm just like, oh, it's now all, I mean, like, you know, when the Gran died, and then at the end, what was it, Bradley Walsh says that, yes, I had cancer, but, and it's like, oh god, there's just more stuff, and it's just more stuff hits you, and one of the companions has problems, and the other one's got, and I'm like, oh, what happened to the days when we just went off and done fun adventures? And I think that was the problem for me of this series, was just simply not focusing too much and being a bit too hard on, I think, the drama a little bit, to be honest. Number 9, the Tardis. Yes, I'm going to go out and say it. I don't like the Tardis whatsoever. I think it's a horrible looking Tardis. I actually feel sorry for Jodie, because if you look at every shot she's in, she's always having to bend her back, and I'm like, yes, that would be a bit of a pain, I think, for the actor, surely, but it's so dull, it's so dim, it's so dark, which doesn't suit her, which doesn't make sense to me, because to me, especially New Who, I feel like the TARDIS kind of symbolises what the Doctor kind of is. And when you look at the TARDIS and you look at her, especially how she's dressed, the costume and all that, it does not match whatsoever. Also, like, I feel like a little bit like I don't know 100% what the TARDIS looks like, because it's barely been, I think, like, there was 3 episodes that I wasn't in at all. I wasn't in the first episode, and there was 2 random episodes that wasn't in it whatsoever. I just didn't really get that. I don't like the giant crystal right in the middle. The big spear. It's a weird TARDIS to me, because it kind of looks big outwards, but once it's actually within the console, it looks so neat and tight. Also, I don't like, which was a thing that they did with Exxon and Tennant, where, is there other doors? Is there another bit to this TARDIS, or is this it? I don't know what's going on here. That's what I liked about Matt's one and Capaldi's, and obviously all the classic ones. You had a sense of, okay, there's another door and we're going into somewhere else. But here it's just like, is this it? I don't know. It's to me, it's ugly. It's just, it doesn't look nice to me personally. Number 8, not getting Blair Mowatt to compose. Now, I apologise if I maybe actually just murdered his last name there, but this was someone I was really hoping would actually get the job for composing the new series, and simply because, you know, he was working in Big Finish, he was especially in the Torchwood stuff and all that. He worked in Class as well, so you kind of were looking at him like thinking, oh right, he looks like he's building up and he's going to be the next composer. But sadly, they got someone who I don't know of. I still don't really know of, because I feel like his music didn't connect to me. You know, when you look at what Murray Gold done with his music and how he connected with his music and you felt the music, I couldn't tell you if the companions have themes. I don't know. I couldn't hum you right now the Doctor's theme. No idea. His title song is a little bit lackluster, I find, a little bit, because it starts quiet and then it just kind of goes, and it's just, it falls flat for me a little bit, his kind of music. I don't really like what the new stuff is. I genuinely, in my mind right now, I couldn't tell you a bit from the music, and I just wish they got the Blair a little bit, to be honest, because I think it would have been a nice little kind of continuation for him, and seeing, you know, someone like us all, you know, starting small and growing up into a company, and I think that would have been really nice in many different ways. And I simply kind of like what he's done. I like his Torchwood theme that he did for Big Finish. So I think that was a bit of a shame. Number 7, 3 companions. Now, cue people that are going to complain at me that there's been 3 companions many a times, and look how much they didn't work in the past as well. You know, the great example I always think is Tegan, Nyssa and Adrix. They to me are like the 3, you know, you always have the original ones, but obviously I've not really watched much of the first one, but those 3 are always kind of the thing. But the problem is, if you look back in that series, they always kind of, Nyssa is always like side glance, which kind of annoys me because I actually quite like Nyssa, mostly for that red velvet. I just like don't really I never really connect much to 3 companions, Chris. I think 2 is just enough for me, especially like in the first episode you've got a new Doctor and 3 companions. Too much for me, it's just too much, because there's so many times and you see so many times in the series where they become background characters almost, and it's just they just disappear, and it's just like, oh yeah, I forgot, yeah, he's, and oh, and she's also here as well for some odd reason, and it's too much for me. I don't like it. To me, 2 is the beautiful max of companions. I think it was a big mistake chucking in 3 companions so soon in a first series for a new Doctor. Number 6, not bringing back regular writers. Yeah, just like a bit of a kind of obviously side. I do mean like people like Toby Whitehouse, for a good example. You know, writers that you've known for some time, that have had a huge connection with Doctor Who, and by the looks of it, Chibnall was wanting to obviously do completely new and all that, and I guess in a sense I can respect that, but at the same time it's like, I think you should keep moments where people kind of go, oh, I like Toby Whitehouse, I'll probably get excited for that. And actually that's quite a smart thing to do, actually, as a showrunner. You should be getting writers that people get excited without even knowing what the episode is. You know, a good example of that was with Neil Gaiman and Richard Curtis. When people knew they was going to write an episode, had no clue what it was, they were excited to know what they were going to do, and that's kind of smart. And also it was kind of, it's good for people like myself kind of going, oh, it's nice to see a bit of kind of continuity within the show, and to see writers that I personally like, and personally I think they actually know sci-fi. The problem with a lot of the new writers, apparently none of them really had much to do with sci-fi in the past, and I think that's a little bit of a problem, and I think that was the problem of why we had issues, I think, with the series in that sense. Number 5, stopping the Christmas special. Now, yes, to some they're going to be like, well, there's the New Year's Day special, but to me, it's just not good enough. I don't think that's good, because when I have, you know, Christmas and all that, I always have the big dinner, you know, the presents, whatever. But the one thing that really kind of got me actually excited more about Christmas, and kind of got me through the day, frankly, almost, was the Doctor Who special. There's just something, ever since they started with 2005, to me, that was always like a huge part of the day for me, the Doctor Who Christmas special. It was, you know, we got everyone, it was always like one of the few times the family would actually sit together was for the Christmas special. So it was just like, always felt like a nice like moment together of watching the special. And just putting it New Year's Day just feels a bit kind of like, it feels like the back burner now. It just feels like we can't have Doctor Who in the days that are like, you know, popular and all that. You know, a good example was moving it to a Sunday. So we can't seem to have Doctor Who now in days that are popular. It's just like, you know, and there's excuses, dumb excuses of saying like, oh, people don't watch like Doctor Who. It's like that's ridiculous on Christmas Day. Like that really is dumb when people are coming up with saying that nobody will watch it on Christmas Day. Look at the viewing figures. It's probably the biggest amount of viewing figures is on the Christmas Day special of Doctor Who. So to me, this is more a personal thing, and obviously a lot of people are not happy with. And I know we're just getting New Year's Day, but I want it on Christmas Day, but I don't see why that's kind of a weird thing, really. Number 4, no two-parters. Now this was a thing Chibnall said for some time that wasn't going to happen, was any two-parters. Kind of lied in that one when you think about it, when the first and the second one was kind of basically almost a two-parter. But overall there generally really isn't a two-parter, and I think that's where the finale really falls short in it. To me, the best finales are the two-parters. You know, when you look at series 6 and 7 where they didn't really do a two-parter, yeah, okay, there was a big story arc, I guess, but like overall, it just doesn't really it doesn't push it for me in the finale. I think when you've got a big two-parter and you've got that cliffhanger there, I think it really makes you excited more and it makes you really more engaged in that story. Also, it can flesh out characters and develop it more. That's why I really like two-parters. Like, I miss the days way back in 2005 too, quite a good bit, where we had like 3 two-parters in a series. Like, that was great. And I always still like Series 9, where they went a bit experimental with it all, and it was basically the whole series. So 9 was two-parters, and I quite enjoyed that, actually, to be honest. So that's the thing, and I hated that they got rid of the two-parters. To me, I always really like it, and I thought that was an absolute dumb decision that they got rid of the two-part. Number 3, getting rid of the pre-title sequence. Now, this might be something that maybe not folk have actually thought about, or maybe actually realised. And I know people are going to say, oh well, it didn't happen in the classic series and all that. And that is true, it didn't. But one of the smartest decisions they made in 2005 was to put in a pre-title sequence, and it made so much sense for your mind when you don't actually realise it, because you've got this wee little section here, and it's basically setting up the episode you're about to see. It's about to build up with almost a little mini cliffhanger before the Doctor Who intro. Not having that anymore just makes you feel, you almost actually forget, oh yeah, the Doctor intro's on, oh yeah, I forget that, because without that pre-title sequence, you're hooked into it. Then you see that pre-title sequence, and I don't feel like that's actually happening a little bit to me. I think it's a shame. I think it builds suspense as well. I think, like, a great example would have been the Spider episode of this series, where, say, like, the opening sequence was someone getting attacked by something, we don't know what it was, you know, and cue intro, and then it's obviously, it would be the Spider, and I think you're missing something there, and I think it's a shame that they got rid of it. I don't know why they got rid of the pre-title sequence. It makes no sense to me. It really worked. It was a thing that really worked with New Who. That was just really beyond me of why they got rid of it. I think you do lose suspense. I think you do lose a little bit of the story about getting into the characters and getting into that said episode, and I think it was such a shame that they got rid of it. Number 2, only having 10 episodes. Oh, but then there'll be folk that'll say, oh, but there were 50 minutes. There were 50 minutes each episode. I don't care if there were 50 minutes each episode. A lot of them still were rushing at the third act of the episodes, which I didn't really understand. They were going on a bit, oh, we've got extra time, but they still felt a lot rushed, a lot of the episodes. Look back in Capaldi's era, a good example was Capaldi's finale, where a lot of them were like 50 to nearly an hour, while here we were just getting 50 minutes. So already you're getting less. Capaldi's first episode was an hour and 15 minutes, I want to say, while it was just an hour for Jodie Whittaker. So I'm not seeing where apparently we're getting more in the 10 episodes. Well, we're definitely not. We're getting a lot less. And what really annoys me is the fact that we're apparently now 2020 will be the next series, until we'll probably wait for another 10 episodes of excitement. It's just like, the BBC clearly don't care about Doctor Who anymore. That's clearly obvious, and they're not wanting to put the effort into it. I mean, I miss the days when we used to get 13 strong episodes of Doctor Who, as well as the Christmas special, as well as they were making Torchwood and they were making Sarah Jane Adventures, and for a while that was happening in a year. I kind of miss that, and I don't see why that's so difficult. I get money wise and all that, but like 10 episodes, man, come on, that's quite low to me. I like, when you're waiting so long and you only get that amount of episodes, when I used to get 13 episodes as well as a Christmas special, I just think that's such a it's a hard decision, and it's a bad decision, and it's not a likeable decision for me of doing it that way, because I'm getting less Doctor Who. Pure and simple. And number 1, making Chris Chibnall the showrunner. Yes, the big one here, frankly. I don't like Chris Chibnall in Doctor Who. I think he's terrible in writing Doctor Who. I think he needs to leave Doctor Who. I don't think he knows how to write suspense in the show. I don't think he knows how to write sci-fi. I don't think he knows how to write the actual Doctor, frankly, in the show. Because it's ironic that the better episodes seem to be the ones that Chibnall doesn't write. That seems to be an odd one, that one. I don't feel like I have a fan writing the show anymore. Russell T Davies and Stephen Moffat, whether you liked them two or hated them, they were huge fans of the show, and they wanted to bring their own spins to it, and they did. Chibnall, I feel like he's trying to elevate Doctor Who as being just some like sophisticated drama that you'd find, and it's falling on his face, and it's falling flat, and and he comes out with, oh, we're not doing classic monsters, we're not doing Daleks, and obviously that didn't last long, because it looks like they're going to bring back the Daleks in New Year's special, because clearly, when you look at the series, they're clearly looking at it and going, yeah, people aren't happy, just chuck in the Daleks, do you know what I mean? And, like, cool, whatever. I think he's the worst thing that's happened to Doctor Who right now. When you look back and, like, even, like, his episodes with David Tennant and Matt Smith, they're not episodes that shine to me. I think they're episodes that are very, very low in the bar. There's barely a decision that Chibnall has made I'm looking at and thinking, I really like that to 100%. There's some things I'm like, okay, I don't really mind that, but like, there is nothing barely I'm like, I'm fully on board with Chibnall. While Russell T Davies and Stephen Moffat, I love both of them really, if I'm honest. Chibnall, I just think he's bad for Doctor Who. I think, and it's weird with the whole, like, you know, there's going on with a female doctor, and it's like, yeah, I think it's great. I actually think I like Jodie, but if I'm honest, it's Chibnall that's letting Jodie down. I can't really get myself liking Jodie greatly because of Chibnall, and I think he's the problem, sadly. So that's my top 10 dumb decisions of Doctor Who Series 11, but I'd like to know what you guys think. Comment down below, tell me what you think of your dumb decisions of this series, or if there is generally things that you like, I would love to know what they are. More videos in the future, so until then, see you later.